Welcome to the Maasto Fitness podcast. Today, in episode 18, we are going to talk about heat adaptation. So, what we can do not on the dirt bike, off the dirt bike, to race more efficiently, or our body to be more efficient in those hot races. Now, this is a quick hit podcast where we keep them short and to the point, focusing on the things you can do off the bike to race faster and safer on the bike. At Maasto Fitness, we provide training off the bike, so days on the bike, whether training or racing, are faster and safer. We work with racers in the real world and we give training that fits their lives. So, like I said, today we are talking all about how to adapt your body for the heat, how to prepare your body. This is a big one as we're rolling into summer. It may not be hot yet for you, but the races are about to be hot. So, we're going to talk about what you can do. Now, first, before we get into a couple things you can do to have your body deal with the heat better on race day, let's talk about the two biggest ones. So that is going to be body composition and fitness. So simply put, if the fitter we are, the better our body's going to deal with stressors such as heat. A higher level of fitness equals the body being able to deal with those heat demands, the extra stress put on your body. And then two, body composition. If you're at a proper weight, essentially, you can think about you have less insulation on you, so it's less work for the body to cool itself. So those are the first two biggest, most important ones we can do. Once we're past those, here's a couple other tips of things you can do to help prepare your body. Now, essentially, what is heat adaptation? That is, we're essentially increasing our sweating efficiency. So we're able to make sure our body's more efficient at cooling itself while losing less electrolyte. That's basically what we're doing. We're trying to pull moisture to the surface to help cool our body. And the better our body is at that, the better we can cool ourselves on race days. So what can we do to do that outside of body composition and fitness? There are a couple things. First, we can do is live in it, just being in the environment. You need about 2 weeks of this adaptation. So, for example, if you work outside or you have a job that's not in a climate controlled environment, more than likely you're doing a really good job just adapting your body to heat already if it's starting to get warmer out. Being in that environment, your body just needs to become more efficient because it's trying to figure out the easiest way or the least amount of work way for your body to tackle whatever task you're doing. So if you're out in that environment working, or in a shop or something that's not climate controlled, you already took a really good step in the right direction. And I think that's a really big one. That's just living in it. If you're going outside all the time, if you're living an active outdoor lifestyle, a lot of that is going to help your body adjust to the demands of heat training just by being in it, because our body is always trying to figure out the best way to do things, how to do things, and being in that environment will make such a big difference. And I think about it like this: when we're racing, our body is really covered up. If you look at other endurance sports like running, for example, they have nothing on their head. Maybe they have a hat that's really thin that's helping pull moisture away. They're wearing very little clothing. There's a lot of surface area to help cool their body. Us as racers, we don't have that luxury. We're in multiple layers and sometimes thick layers. Just think about your riding boots and your helmet. Even a good ventilated helmet is definitely helping, but it's nothing compared to the cooling you would get by just not having a helmet on or having a hat on, like out running or something. Or think about cycling. Their helmet's super light, super ventilated. They only cover half the head compared to what we wear on a motorcycle. Much more cooling. They're able to wear much less gear. So once again, that cooling factor, that sweating and drawing moisture away from the skin, is really simplified. So for us as racers, it's really important that we're heat adapted, because the last thing we want to do is be in all this gear and not be doing everything we can to help our body cool as best we can. So with that, let's talk about training in the heat. So we're talking off the bike here. Ideally, you want to start just training in a warmer environment. Still wear your same normal gear, whether you're running, cycling, rowing, swimming, whatever it may be. You don't need to bundle up. Studies have suggested that's not really the best way to help with heat adaptation. The best way is to just, spend a couple weeks training in a hotter environment. will get the best adaptation for your body. Sometimes just insulating your body, like trying to train in a hot environment with a bunch of clothes on, really just puts a lot more stress on your system. It's not going to help the body adapt any quicker. The body needs time to adapt. And just like anything great, we just can't do it instantly. It takes a little bit of time. And the same thing here. So start training in the heat. Ideally, like let's say, mid-June races are going to be really hot. And right now we're the 1st of June. So start trying to get out and train when it's warmer if possible. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy or hard. You just want to start doing your normal training in the heat and just increasing your duration just as you would with any type of progressive training to help get the body used to those conditions. If it's humid, even better, helping the body get used to that heat and that those warm, humid temperatures. And with this, when you're doing this off the bike training, whatever sport you're doing, we want to make sure you're staying hydrated because we want the body to be efficient at cooling, and we want to increase the body's ability to cool and sweat. So we need to have the fluid rolling in so our body can cool. So make sure when you're doing this, you're training in the heat, keep on the fluid just like you always do, or keep rolling in the fluid just like you always do. And that's going to help your body become more efficient at cooling. So don't think you have to like really stress your body or skip out on hydration or wear a bunch of clothes. No, just get out in those environments, train as you normally would while you're slowly increasing load, intensity, duration, and keep up on the fluids. So we've got living in it and we've got training in the heat. Now, next we have sauna. This is a really good one. If you don't have access to warm training or you don't live in a warm environment, but you're going to be racing somewhere warm soon, you can go to a sauna and help your body adapt to the heat. And this is really simple. So you just start shorter sessions, 10, 15, 20 minutes. And over the course of a couple of weeks, build your way up to 30, 40, 45, even it could be up to an hour, which I don't think you really need to go that far, but you could if you're really into it and progressing it. Spending time in the sauna. And we're doing the same thing as we would there with exercising in the heat. We're just increasing our body's ability to be efficient at cooling itself. So when you're in that sauna, same deal. This isn't like a extreme, like dehydrate yourself, wear yourself down in a sauna. You want to make sure you've got some fluid and you're staying hydrated because we want to go ahead and help increase that sweat rate across your body. So fluid in, fluid out. And you can just do that a couple times a week over the course of 2-3 weeks. Start short on those sauna sessions and slowly build your way up. 2-3 times a week will do the trick. And by the time you hit race day, you're adapted. Now, you don't have access to a sauna, but you want to get that heat adaptation. The next thing you can do if you're not in a warm environment, but you're going to be racing somewhere warm soon, is you can do a hot soak. This is what I've had to do before when I'm going to race in a warm environment and I want to make sure my body's adapted. No saunas where I live, or at least I don't have access to a sauna. So get a nice warm bath, doesn't need to be anything extreme, and start doing soaks in it. Just, 10, 15 minutes, as long as you can kind of keep it warm. Make sure you pour a little water over your head as well, over the back of your neck. And you can start doing heat adaptation. How about that? Heat adaptation there. And just like always, make sure you're keeping up on fluids. Don't do anything silly or extreme, and you'll heat adapt your body as well. So those are kind of the top methods I've got that you can do. First and foremost, always making sure that you're fit at a proper body composition. 2 biggest things you can do. Then we can live in it. We can train in it. We can do sauna sessions. We can do hot soaks. All of those things will help. And I do just want to stress one more time. Training in extra clothes or those kind of sweatsuits that are almost like tarps that don't let your body cool. Those have been proven to not really necessarily be the best way to heat adapt your body. It just kind of puts more stress on you. The best bet is to just be consistent with it and build it up over a couple of weeks. That's going to get you to where you need to be with heat training. So racing in the heat is hard. It's definitely can be dangerous if you're not prepared. So this is one more thing you can do to just help you give it your absolute best on race day without tipping the scales too much that you're not able to accomplish what you want, or being so beat up and tired that if it's a 2-day race, you can't race day 2 of motos, or if it's a hare scramble or enduro, all of a sudden you find on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can't train or ride at all because you're so beat down. doing this heat adaptation definitely will help you battle those warm conditions on race day. Now, next week, we're going to talk about sleep. I think this is a big one. Too many times I run into racers who are burning the candle at both ends. It's just not sustainable, and they're just not getting the best they can out of their body. So next week, we're going to dive in deeper to sleep and how sleep can help affect your performance and have you racing faster and safer on race day. And at Maasto Fitness, we build strength, endurance, and mobility training for racers. Plus, we have tons of hydration and nutrition guides. If you want to give it a try, send me a message on Instagram, and I'll hook you up with a free week of our single jump training program. See you guys next week.